Welcome to Keep the Hotel Empty. Today we've kept the hotel empty for lifelong athlete, trainer, ninja warrior, and the man behind Jusswaitonit, DC Banks. DC, welcome, man.
Welcome. How you doing?
Good, man. I'm stoked to have you here. I love when we get an athlete in. I love when we get, somebody. Lately we've been having a lot of bands, so it's a good change of pace. I'm stoked to have you here.
All right. Ready to get to it.
Yeah. So I did a little bit of research on Jusswaitonit, and I love the ethos behind that, sticking with it, waiting things out. Mm-hmm. This is a big thing about the show. We like to support people who can stick with their grind, and I want to get to that. But I want you to press rewind for me. That's what we do here. And take me back to the time maybe when you start to realize life was starting to present you with things that were teaching you the lessons that eventually build up to what becomes Jusswaitonit.
So, going way, way back.
Yeah, we go way back. No time limits.
So, as far as I can remember, this is something I'm about to say right now that I spoke to a couple people about because I didn't remember it and then it just popped into my head. But going way, way back to 4 years old, I made my first big decision and I didn't even know it. So, for the people that don't know me, I grew up in the foster care system, 6 different families by the age of 18. I was with my birth mother, 2 families before that, and then I got with, I knew as my mother, it was my foster mother, but she's the one who took me in at a very young age, and that's who I knew as my mother. Mm-hmm. So she took me and my brother in, raised us right. It was awesome and everything, but she passed from cancer when I was 11 years old. And
oh, man, that's tough.
Yeah, it was something because at the same time, my birth father, he was in my life. He was very present, and then he just disappeared from my life. So at the same exact time, I lost 2 people, the only people I really cared about that I thought I cared about, and then just gone. So that's where we started that journey of independence, growing up fast, whatever you want to call it, but just that and trauma season, I guess. But the thing I wanted to say was, it's so interesting. At 4 years old, and I remember this, I had to go to the courthouse. I was 4 years old, and I was in a room with the judge and a few other people. I'm just sitting up in this little booster chair, and the judge said, "Who do you want to live with, your foster mom or your dad?" And I chose my foster mom. But I made a decision at 4 years old, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you made a life-changing, life-impacting decision at 4 years old.
Right.
And I'm just like, that makes so much sense why I'm good at decision-making. I make a lot of decisions, and I put myself in a lot of scenarios, but I make a lot of wise decisions. But I feel like it dated back from then, all the way back then when I was 4. Then going through that new chapter at 11 years old, 11 to 17, that's where I was just finding myself. Didn't know who I was, didn't know anything, didn't feel accepted, didn't feel wanted, didn't feel loved. There was no love around me. There was nothing around me. My way of trying to feel accepted was through my sports. I tried every type of sport that you can think of just so I can get in all these different rooms with people and just talk. From skateboarding to snowboarding to wakeboarding, football, basketball, baseball, every sport you can think of, I tried. And I tried to excel at everything as well. So I'd just be a cool guy in all these different rooms. But it's interesting, just fast forward now, doing that has made me into this athlete that I am now today. But just doing all the things, because it was funny. Where I grew up, they always called me the whitest black dude because I did everything, and I wouldn't stop. And that's a great thing about myself too. I'm just thinking about I never let anybody say something to deter me to doing something. I always just kept with whatever I was doing, and people's opinions didn't matter. And I always thought about what people thought though. So it's just it's interesting. Some situations I did think, a lot of situations I did not. But yeah, so lots of sports and lots of growing up, and I was just lost. I felt really lost. So even in the midst of doing all this, I struggle with suicidal thoughts, and I'm just looking back at it now, and I just can't believe I was a person to even think about that. But depression, suicidal thoughts, and I felt like I was nothing. I never thought I would be anything. I didn't think about. I don't know. Me and my brother just grew up very, very chaotic, and I just never thought anything would happen for my future. And when I was 17, the Lord looked out. Oh man, a blessing in disguise. So you meet with your social worker every month, and you just tell them like what's going on around the house. They ask you questions, and basically the social worker asked about the guardian, and I told the social worker, I was like, yeah, I think she's good. I seen her in church on Sunday. Like she seemed good. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, I seen her in church. Like she was good. Like she seemed happy. What do you mean you seen her in church? Long story short, this guardian didn't live at the house with me and her daughter for like 2.5 years. Her daughter was raising me. Her daughter's only like 4 years older than me, but I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't know how to cook. I didn't know how to wash clothes. I didn't know how to do shit. She's doing all this stuff for me, but
And this is teenage time.
yeah, this is teenage time. So, told her this, and she went and investigated. Next thing you know, they removed me from the house. It was a very sad day. My Aunt Tracy, she's not really my aunt, but she's my aunt. She came and told me the news, and this is the first time I saw her cry. She's as tough as nails, and she's crying and telling me that. And my biggest fear was that, like always, being removed from my house and getting shipped downstate away from the friends that I finally made and stuff. And I was sad that day. And then Aunt Tracy said, "You can just stay with me until they figure out arrangements." And then she decided to step up and take me in.
Awesome.
And man, when I tell you my life just did a complete 180, it's just like everything I was missing. Because I had love. When I was younger, I had love. It's like I now had love. I had confidence. I had self-respect. I started to know who I was, get an idea. But she gave me all these qualities, and it led to me writing down my first set of goals. And it was right before football season. It's so crazy. I never even thought about going to college or anything, but this goal in my mind was like, you can get go get scholarships. And the funny, ironic thing is I didn't even start. I didn't even start freshman, sophomore, junior. I played, but I didn't start. So the first goal on my list was become a starter. Get all these scholarships, break these records, get invited to these games, be first team, this, that, da. So I wrote all this stuff down. I don't know what possessed me to even do this. This is the middle of the summer. And I went and showed her. I was like, Aunt Tracy, I'm going to get all of these. I don't know what happened. I said that. She's like, D, I know you will. I believe in you. I'm like, that was the signature I needed. And then by the end of that season, I remember how consistent and persistent I was toward those goals. Every single play in practice, every single play in a hard, difficult game, I started over. Each time I was like, all right, you know what you need to do? Make this like the game just started. Like, this is a brand new down. This is a brand new play. I don't care where we are in the game and practice. This is brand new. By the end of that season, I got 6 of the 8 goals, 2 of them out of my control, the coach's control. But yeah, that told me I can do anything if I put my mind to it. And then now the next goal was, okay, so if I want to get to college now, let's graduate. So let's graduate with a degree. So I looked up like the statistics. I don't even know what made me look at that. But for foster children, even making it to college, it was at that time it was low, like under 3%. I think it's like 6% now. Under 3%, and then even getting associates is lower, and then getting a bachelor's is lower, master's is lower.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting associates, bachelor's, started my master's, and got halfway through, but it just wasn't. It wasn't for me at the time. But anyways, that was the next goal, and then that was just more just of a confidence booster. I'm just like, okay, you did that, DC. You can do anything. Just use these skills that you've learned. Like just a lot of resilience over all the years that has gotten me to where I am today.
Well, one of the things that makes me wonder is, lots of people, when they start setting goals like that, if they start to see hiccups, they can't look at things as a fresh down. It makes it hard to see that. What do you think were some of the things that helped you give yourself some grace in the process, being like, hey, maybe 6 out of 8 is all I'm going to get, and, I'm going to keep moving forward? How did you have the instinct to give yourself the space and the grace to keep pushing?
I think it was the fact that I knew I delivered my best self every single day. Like, I knew that when they say you left it all on the field, I left it. Like, there's nothing else I could have did. And it's like, obviously there's always a little bit more you can do, but like I felt at that time that I gave everything that I could. So it's like, if this is the best you can do, there's nothing to dwell on. Like, and this is what you got? Oh, that's awesome, dude. Even playing with that, you didn't even start. That's one goal itself. Like, you didn't start, boom, you got a starting position. Like, that's good enough right there for some people. I made all these other goals, but the other ones, like I said, two of them were out of my control. One of them, it was for an all-star game. I got the bigger all-star game, but not the smaller all-star game, as the coaches decided. And then one was an interception record. I couldn't play in one game where the same person at my position missed 2 interceptions, and I would have had it.
and you're thinking, man, those have been mine.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. So two out of my control, but yeah, I just think if you're delivering your best self, that's like still part of the Jusswaitonit mindset. Like, if you're delivering your best self, you got to be satisfied. You won't be denied forever, but like you won't just if you deliver your best self, then there's nothing to really dwell on.
Have you ever had periods where you felt like you were being hard on yourself, or have you been able to maintain that mindset?
I still do. I think that's what keeps me going. It's like a yin yang, but I think that's the thing
for real.
that keeps me going. Honestly, like I think I'm still too hard on myself, but I'm trying to get more lenient. I definitely have learned to get more lenient on myself, but before I was so hard on myself, and then that can take a toll on your mental.
Yeah, that's why I asked. So I'm curious a little bit about when you're having the time in your life where you're thinking, rewind a little bit, where you're thinking to yourself, I got to get into something where I can be around more people. I got to plug myself in. I got to do something. What was it like when you went to like your first sports practice? Were you thinking to yourself, this should be my thing? Or were you really just like throwing pennies in the well and it happened to work?
So I remember my first practice. The very first sport I played was baseball. And I remember I'm literally looking at it vividly right now.
I love that.
I remember my first practice. I was so just nervous and scared. I was just a scared little boy.
And you had no real athletic experience before this?
No, nothing. I rode bikes. Like me and my brother just rode. I was the little kid that just got on the big bikes, like tippy toes on the pedals. No sports or anything. It was just baseball. And then that one, that my mom put me in that. So I don't know, that became my love, my first love, and I loved baseball all the way until now still.
So what was day one like? More nervous than excited, or you were converting nervous to excitement in real time?
I think it was just nervous on a nervous. Like I wasn't talking to anybody or anything. I was just being really quiet in the outfield. I just went to the outfield and I was just real quiet. I was a nervous kid, I feel.
So at what point do you think you start to convert some of this nervousness and uncertainty into the confidence that you were talking about that you built up and got going? What was that process like?
Looking at it differently, I would say it's just perspective. Like, are you actually nervous or are you excited? You know how they say the feelings are the same and interchangeable. Right. I think there was a point, I don't know when this point would have been, but there was a point where I wasn't nervous anymore. I was just excited because I knew that, like, if I did my best to my best ability, like, everything's going to work out exactly how it needs to be. So there was no more nervousness. Yeah.
So when you start playing sports, it was like middle school, right? So by high school, are you starting to have, like, more success with it, even though you're not starting and you're setting your goals and all this? Are you starting to settle into it more, or were you still building through that period, too, leading up to going to college?
I was definitely still building. That's when I was in that household, the one where just me. I was just alone, no guidance or anything. But I was one of those kids where so glad that I had some coaches in my corner. They saw my athletic abilities. I didn't believe in myself or believe in it. Mm-hmm. And they always just said, like, DC, you have gifts. Like, you can. I remember this one coach, he told me, like, you can make it to college one day. That was something else that, like, hit me, and I remembered, and I was like, I don't see that. This is before the goals. And yeah.
Was that the first time someone had verbalized something like that to you?
So that would have been, I would say, like, that's the first time. And then after I made the goals, my Aunt Tracy was like the second time. So it was just that one first person at like 16 years old saying like you're good enough to play college ball. And it didn't stick with me until it's like Aunt Tracy just opened the door so I can see what that person was actually saying. But yeah, I think through like high school and all that, I was still getting my feet wet with everything. I was starting to get good at the the sports that weren't team sports. So like it was like more interpersonal. So I was really good at inline skate, rollerblading, snowboarding, and skateboarding. So those are like the main. Those were the big three outside of like team sports that I was getting really good at. And I feel like with the team sports, I started to get better the more I knew myself. I guess like because you know, like on a basketball team, there's people, you're a certain position or you can be like a role player. I feel like as soon as I like felt my role in like whatever position, however I could serve the team and stuff, like, and I knew I was valuable at whatever it was, then that's where I started to feel like more comfortable.
Do you think that there was any parallel between having spent the time alone that you did and starting in sports like skateboarding and snowboarding and rollerblading where it was just you? You were like comfortable being alone?
Yes, I definitely was. There's two things to that. So I definitely was comfortable. Maybe I thought I was comfortable being alone, but I was able to just do things that maybe my mind, being in that certain setting. So like, let's play with this. I was alone, but also even at the house that I lived in, maybe sometimes we had like electric. Sometimes we didn't. So like it was just the skate park was so close to my house, and I also had a piano downstairs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's all I did. It was school, skateboard, piano, school, skateboard, piano. Like that's all I had. But I got really good at these things, and maybe like that. It helped me explore my creativity a little bit more, just because I was in that situation. I was forced to be in that situation. So if that would have never happened, I don't know what it would have looked like.
That's interesting that you liken it to it helped your creativity. Do you still play piano now, or how far did you take it, or was it just something you did to help your mind keep going?
It was just something I did to keep my mind going, but I love music. If there was a love language of music, that'd be my love language. Like I love music. And that's just where I started to like love that. I didn't take it too far or anything, but I do remember this. So this was in high school. I took a piano class, and there were some people that have been playing all their lives and stuff, and they were monsters. And then at the end, we had like the recital, and there was a song I heard, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful, but it's a really difficult one. And I'm playing like simple things over here, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn it. So I'm talking. I was obsessed. So this would have been like after like I'm in the middle of like the football season. So I'm obsessed with this goal. I'm obsessed with this goal. So that's another goal actually. Every single day I got home for practice, I put the piano like on my dresser, and I'm just watching YouTube of like learning this song or whatever. So I'm doing that for like 2 hours, watching film for 2 hours, sleep every single day, and I rocked it. I got an A+ gold star. I killed the song.
Love
it. Was so
it.
good.
Well, dude, then that absolutely begs the question, where do you think your self-discipline comes from? Because most high school kids aren't going to spend 2 hours, let alone 4 hours. You know, you got to want it to do that. You have to be willing to tell yourself, I'm going to do this. Where do you think that comes from?
That is a great question. I never really asked myself that. Self-discipline. I don't know if it comes from like never really having anything. So I feel that those 6 years of just like nothing, it's like I had to like fend for myself and figure things out myself, and no one's gonna like do anything for you. No one owes you anything. You got to figure it out and do it on your own. So I think it might have came from those years, just being alone and just being alone.
Do you feel like you were always conscious of that, you know, you got to be your own maker, or that was just something that got presented to you so much in life it just became part of your fabric?
These are great questions.
Thank you.
I'm not sure. I would say it's just probably always something in me. You know, like it's just one of those things where we all have a gift, but it's like who wants to unlock theirs, who doesn't want to unlock theirs. It's just your choice. It's your life.
Amen to that.
You know? So I think it was just one of those, maybe it was always in me. Whatever it was always there, but I just unlocked whatever that was to help me as a tool through my life.
Yeah, well then let's get to the point where you have the epiphany that you can get scholarships and you can unlock college. What was it? What would the goal setting look like when now you realize the mountain goes higher than you thought, or the mountain goes higher than anybody had told you about before?
It's just a whole new world. Like as soon as I even got those goals in high school, my world changed. It's like there's a whole world. You were able to do something like this. Like what else can you do? So like there was no limits after that. There was no limits. Like if I would have said I'm going to be the president, I'm going to be the president.
I love it.
That's how. And people will call me crazy saying that, but I'm like, I know me. I will, if I'm obsessed with this goal, I will figure out the resources, everything I need to do to get to this goal. And even if I do not get the presidency, I'll end up on the Senate. I'll end up somewhere up there, like so high up. But I know I'm just going to deliver my best self. I'm going to use my tools and resources to get to like that point. But yeah, so there wasn't a limit. There wasn't a limit to my thinking after accomplishing like those goals. There was like a lot of micro goals in there too, but all these little things just stacked upon each other, and it just let's throw something else in there. I knew God had me too. God never left my side through the whole experience and everything. God was with me even when I thought I was alone. God was definitely with me in prayer and just guiding me, and I didn't even know it. And that's why I have this tattoo actually right here. Like, Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I'm doing, but later you will understand." And I look back at my life at that. Just I didn't understand why. I thought I was being tormented or something like that, but it was all things that I went through but grew through.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's a powerful operative thing right there. When was the first time you think you realized that? Because lots of people go through stuff and they got to feel like they went through it and, you know, maybe it took a chunk of them and they're on the other side. When did you realize that you were going through things and you were adding a chunk on the other side?
When did I realize? I realized actually, I would say years later. So let's play with this one right now. So after college, I used my degree at a job, and at that job, I was helping like troubled youth, and I knew I could relate to them, like
right
from my situation.
Awesome.
Everything. It was a very challenging job, but at that same time, I'm chasing the NFL dream as well. And when I tell you, like any possibility, any opportunity that came up, I did. Like there's one time my buddy, he was on a arena team in Green Bay. I'm in West Virginia. He was like, "Bro, like the coach liked your film." He said, "Could you be here on Wednesday?" It's like Monday evening at 11 p.m. And I'm like, "Bro, like I got a full-time job. Like I can't do this." Anyways, I made it happen. Next thing you know, I'm driving 16 hours up there for 30 minutes, 16 hours back for a 16-hour shift. Like
Holy
stuff like
shit.
that. So like I'm just like, if you want something, I know you know that you can do it. But anyways, going through that period, so this job and football, so I chased the NFL dream for about 1 year. Any opportunity that came, I spent all my money just trying to make something happen. It didn't work, but through all that time, like it's almost like how I described, like how when I know I'm giving my all, I know I'm building, but maybe not at a younger age, but at this time, I'm just like, dude, if you want something, you know you can get it. Because I hung up the cleats. It just wasn't working, and it's okay. Like, that's the first time I feel like I quit something in my life, but I didn't quit. It's just, you gotta figure it out. Like, you can't do something forever. I knew I gave my best foot forward and all this, and this dream ever, but it just wasn't for me. So like that's why I just kept navigating. So it wasn't like I gave up because I like pivoted. That's all. That's the best way to put it. But to answer your question, I feel like around that time, like when I'm an adult on my own, all this money, not in college or anything, that's where I realized that I was like just building and stacking and growing. I think that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of times, you know, you can feel like you're working, and you got nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But they say you got to put something down to pick something up. So,
Absolutely.
you know, it's good to be able to sometimes have the courage to hang up the cleats or whatever it is because there's something else for you to pick up. Mm-hmm. You've said the word obsession a couple of times, and that's one self-disclosure I can totally relate to. But they say that, you know, you're not really obsessed in going after your goal until someone thinks that you're nuts. Have you had those times in your life where you're feeling so tunnel vision and people are looking at you like, DC, man, you are just grinding yourself to the core? Have you felt the downside of obsession, or is obsession a comfortable place to be when you're chasing goal?
I think it's a comfortable place to be when you're chasing a goal. Now, it all depends. Like, it all depends on where you are in your life. Like, if you have a family, a wife, and kids, you got to be able to pour in all these different cups. Like, you can't just upset. You can't do that. It all depends on where you are and what you're trying to pursue, I feel. But yeah, I think for me, it's a comfortable thing. I'm not. I guess I have a better relationship with it now. So like, I'm not just but like I can freely like do that. I can be freely obsessed.
Yeah. That's why I asked, because there's that transition between that where you can be like almost like I'm choosing to be obsessed, and I can still pour in my other cups instead of letting anything go past me. You know
exactly
what I mean?
that.
Very cool. And you've also said another word, challenge, a couple of times, and that is always one that makes me curious. What is your mind frame when you face a challenge?
As soon as a challenge happens, I was just talking to one of my buddies. So many men are struggling out there right this second. I just want to say that, my goodness, so many. Every other conversation I have is with a man just struggling with something. It's so bad. But some people haven't been through some things, so they don't know how to navigate it. And I feel for him, but like, he's got to pray. Let go and let God is what I say, like, honestly. But for me, whenever I have a challenge, it's just quick prayer. I've been through worse. That's all I can say. Like, I'm like, okay, been through worse. What can I make it through? Let's make it happen. Like, just yeah.
So do you have that feeling like every day in your life has been the exact training you needed for today?
Yes, we are exactly where we need to be. Like, just being here in this room with you is from all the decisions and choices I made in the past, from yesterday to like 10 years ago. It got me to this room with you right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, choices is the big operative word, and that's a thing, you know, when you talk a lot of people struggling, it's usually because they got a series of bad choices that got on top of them. So I guess this is a little bit for the question that I asked before, but kind of the sidebar to it. How do you discipline yourself to try to make sure that you're making choices that are going to be positive for you instead of just whatever's expedient or feels right or saves you or keeps your nose above the water in the moment?
I feel like this is like on a small scale. I feel like I do this in my career. So I'm a full-time content creator, and I don't take on every opportunity. Even if I'm not doing the best, I won't take on every opportunity because I don't like feeling inauthentic. I want to be authentic. I want to deliver my best self. But that's I feel like that's how I navigate, but also with choices, I always want to do something, lead with love, how they say. Like, I want to do it out of love, like every single thing that I do. And I just want to be so real with myself and with people, like being the same person I am behind closed doors to what I am to the world.
Fair. That's an awesome adage to live by. What do you think are some of the building blocks of authenticity when you're trying to help other people see the authenticity? Because there are a lot of that we have a guest on the show that coined the term dishonest hobbyists, and in the world of mentors and motivators, I feel like there are definitely dishonest hobbyists in that world.
Man.
What do you think are some of the significant things to maintain your authenticity and let people feel that you're being real with them?
I would say just the first thing, like consistency with what you do and how you do it. Just being real, but also with your realness, having a backbone. Like, you have to You have to have your own mind, your own choice, and like not just like going with the crowd, but like being a leader instead of a follower.
Right.
But how was the question?
We may have lost each other.
Shoot. No, you're that was a good question though. What keeps it? Yeah, just the consistency and just being true to. All right, so let's play with this. Actually, I think I got this. Just if you're honest with yourself, you're going to be honest to the world. Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that, I guess that is one of the biggest things. People have I don't know if you know David Goggins at all. I'm sure you probably do. The accountability mirror. When you got to look in the mirror and be real with yourself, I guess that's the foundation, huh?
Yes. Yep. And it all starts with you. Everything starts with you.
So I guess that dovetails into, a little bit back where we were before. When you're being self-critical of yourself, I mean, you have to be when you're trying to progress in athletics or anything. You have to be real with yourself at some point. How do you handle those moments when you have to say to yourself, I've done my best, but X, Y, Z didn't happen?
One thing I do now, I don't know what I used to do. I did something, but one of my buddies, he gave me an idea because he did it for himself, but he just has a notebook. Well, he has it on his whiteboard, but I have it in my notebook. Just undeniable truths. So just things that you have like accomplished or made it out of that should have never happened. But stuff like that. That's what I fall back on whenever I feel like I didn't get a goal or something like that. I'm like, okay, you did this. On to the next thing. Like, you're all good. It's okay. You're safe.
Yeah, that's huge. That mentality is huge. I'm very curious about that because I feel like that's a lot of what, people get caught in their own self-doubt cycle. Have you ever had those moments of, I hate to say imposter syndrome, but that's what everybody knows it as. Have you ever had moments where you're like, what the f am I doing here?
Yeah, like a lot. I never wanted that because, like I said, I just want to be so like authentic with myself and every person, but I feel like you're only human. You're only human, so like it's just a thing that will happen no matter what, because it's something that you probably didn't experience before. You're not familiar. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. That's a big thing for like a lot of people and definitely with me. And it's like I wanted to deny it in the past, but it's a real thing.
Have you ever had a failure or a challenge that you walked away and you feel like you didn't learn anything from?
I cannot say that because I have zero regrets. So I feel like anything I've ever done, I learned something. It could be so small, like from sports to relationships, anything it was. It could have been bad, but there was something that I learned. Like I made it out of there, and there's something that I learned to apply. So like even I play with this as well. Say it was like something bad, I still collected information to help me like just in my life. So your intuition is like a food bank. You know what I mean? Everything that goes on around you, you're just collecting information. And that's why I trust my intuition so much, because I'm like, there's a reason I feel this way, because there's probably something in my past or whatever it was that led me to this decision or this gut feeling or whatever it is. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, being in tune to yourself is a trick. So then that leads me back to the point where this is a good time where you would have had to be in tune to yourself. Talk to me about morning one after you've literally or figuratively hung up the cleats.
I just remember the last one was in Albany, New York. I'm driving home. It was like 7 o'clock at night. I don't know, like 6 hours. And I typed up this message, but it was empowering. I don't remember how to recite it. It's like the first note in my phone.
Nice.
But I just said, they denied you, but you know your value, you know your worth. You won't be denied forever. That's just the summary of it. Like
powerful.
You gave this. I put the number statistics. I was like, you spent this amount of money. You went to this amount of cities. You did all of this for something that didn't happen. They didn't believe in you, but you got this. Like something major is going to happen for you. Just keep going. So that was like that night going into the next morning. I don't know what the next morning felt like, because there's different emotions that you go through.
For real. But were you thinking to yourself when the next day hits, were you like blank slate, or did you already have like enough momentum built up you were going to start training people? What was plan B?
So inside of that,
or plan
I was
A
like,
too.
Let's go. We got to compete. let's really push into this rugby now.
Oh,
Yeah, so I played rugby as well.
damn.
And I was
Talk to me about day one rugby. Did you have any clue? Because I know rugby. I had a lot of friends growing up that were in the rugby world, and it's a maddening world. They take that serious.
Yes, it's really difficult. So I'm very, very athletic, but you're only so athletic on that field. If someone's smart, they can be as athletic as you on the rugby field, and not even as talented. But if they're smart with the game, yeah, they'll dust you.
Dang.
Yeah. So rugby, my first day out there, was challenging because I didn't understand anything, and then finally I got to a position where I didn't really have to think too much. I was out on the outside. I was a wing, so give me the ball, I'll run fast. I know how to get around. But it was a difficult challenge doing rugby. So I was playing while I was chasing the NFL dream, and then it was just like all in on this now. So in my mind, here's what happened. So one of my old teammates, Perry Baker, on the U.S. Sevens team, he played at my university. He went to the NFL, but they did a CAT scan and something was wrong with his knee or something like that, and they cut him. And then now he goes to rugby. He's on the USA team. So I was like, okay, he did. I can do it. And even though he runs like a 4.2, he's fast as lightning. So I was like, if he could do it, I could do it. He went to the same school as me. Cool, whatever. So that was my goal. And basically, I learned that I needed to make it to like an academy or something like that. And I thought I was good enough, but I don't think I was good enough. But I'm going to lie to myself saying I'm good enough. But I never got that opportunity. But I was going to all these like tournaments. I was like, okay, maybe I can get posted by one of these big rugby pages. Someone's going to see me, because I'm eating at all these tournaments. I'm doing it. And that was my goal because I didn't have enough money to even like go to academy or something like that. So all the marbles was into that, and that fizzled out a little bit more because I didn't have a love for that. I liked it a lot, and I feel like it was just like a scapegoat.
It just scratched the itch of being competitive enough.
Exactly. And it lasted for a while, and then it was just no more. We're good.
Yeah, it's a incredibly taxing sport to play. From what I can gather, I've never played. They'd find me mauled into the field, but like I said, I had friends growing up, dude. I always liked watching them play. It took me forever to figure out what was actually going on in the game. But was the rugby thing begs two questions on me. Have you always had the mentality, or have things always felt to you like, well, if someone else can do it, I can do it?
I didn't always have the mentality, and then after those goals, it was like, if someone else can do it, I can do it. And even if someone else can do it, I bet you, or even if someone can't do it, I bet you I can get close to doing it, or I can do it. So it was either or in that situation. Because I don't limit myself to anything. I think if God wants it to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah, not limiting yourself is a trick unto itself. What do you think helps you keep that mentality alive?
I just know I don't know. I just know there's better out there. We have one life. Like, it's just like, why not just do everything? Like, what is a limiting belief? Where'd you even come up with the idea of, like, let's even play with, like, just a characteristic, like fear. We create our fear.
Right.
We create these limits. What's a limit? It's just something we made up. So why not just, like, push through? You can do anything.
I love that. I could not agree with that more, and I'm always curious about how people can get themselves to that point, because once you're there, most people will espouse that as unequivocally as you do. You know what I mean? Once you feel it, you feel it. Yeah. And I'm always curious, like, how people get themselves to the point where it's like, you know what? If I want to, I can. And a lot of Keep the Hotel Empty, one of the things we really are grateful for is being able to have people on the show like yourself who can empower other people through their stories. You know, you can do this too. So, you mentioned before coaches, how much they were important and how much they impacted you. And we've had several guests from different walks of life talk about mentors and the coaches that they came into. So if you can, for just a little bit, explain to me what it was like when you started being able to find some strength and develop more strength in yourself through mentors and through coaches and things like that, and consistent belief in you.
So I definitely feel like it was just like a power up.
Yeah.
It was like some NOS on a car, because I already had the
Nice.
mindset, and then now it's just like, whoa, someone believes in you. You can definitely do this. Like, they can see something that you can't even see. I'm gonna go back. To middle school real quick. This is actually a very interesting one. So
Love
I had
it.
a buddy. His dad came to every game, every single game, and he was just always there. Football, basketball, baseball. And after I don't know, scored a touchdown, home run, whatever it might have been, DC Hollywood. That's what he always said. And he always said this. He's always right there. DC Hollywood, I see you, man. This is when I'm in 7th grade. This one I'm lost. There's no guidance or anything. And he just always said that. And then finally in 8th grade, I asked him, or 6th grade, he started that. And in 8th grade, I asked him, I was like, why you always call me DC Hollywood? He was like, DC, you're going to be in Hollywood one day. Like, you got this. Like, you're going to be in. So this dude believed in something couldn't even fathom. I would never even thought that. And it's ironic that I have a clip too, because I remember it right before I was going on stage for semifinals for Ninja Warrior. I'm standing behind the stage in Hollywood. I just closed my eyes. I'm just like, DC Hollywood. DC Hollywood. It was such a magical moment right there. But that was just someone, just a random guy, but he believed in me, and that was just someone. Maybe even him saying that each time made me want to do this so I can hear it again, do it so I can hear it again. But I think that's where it all started. And then just going to the coaches in high school that believed in me, I think that was just more ammunition, like, to the goals that I already set. And it probably made me work harder. For sure made me work harder. And then even getting to college, I had a different position coach every single year. And it was so funny how it worked out. So, like, the very first one I had, he knew, he was just one of those people. I was an overthinker. I overanalyze a lot. And he noticed that in me, but he saw my athletic abilities as well. He was like, you are going to be on this field. You just need to sit down and focus. And basically, he got fired. Then the next coach, there was just no chance. He brought in his own people. Then the next coach, just another one. He saw it too. Like, he saw it, and he's just like, dude, like, you got this. Not there next season. And then it was just that for me. Like, it was like hope, no hope, hope, no hope. So yeah, it was interesting in that regard. But like, those coaches that did believe in me, they talked to me. They navigated me, showed me the tools and resources, and told me everything I needed to do to, like, be successful in football. But it was definitely something that, like, I appreciate and looked up to, because I never really had a father figure either. So these coaches were like that type of male figure in that role, just that role specifically. But I believe coaches are essential to success.
What do you think is the essential parts of being able to be coached?
So I wasn't great at that either. I remember I got in an argument on the field. It was like I got real hostile. I've always been very respectful. It's like, when my mom was alive, she beat that in me. She beat respect in me, and I've noticed that even walking through life, I'm so respectful. So I don't know what happened in that moment, but you have to be able to, I think I was just very frustrated in life, and I think it was just like what's that called? Not justify, but whatever. Throwing out words that you don't really mean because you're just, yeah.
Everybody cup runneth over at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one time, and then my Aunt Tracy talked to me about that, and she didn't like that because she knows I'm respectful, but I believe you just gotta, someone's always gonna, like, know more than you. You don't know everything. Like, you have to be able to learn. You have to be able to listen. So listening is the main thing. You have to be able to listen. You have to be able to listen to understand, not to react. Is that how they say it? Like, listen to understand what someone's saying, not to just reply. But yeah, so I did struggle with that for a little bit, and then it was cool because in my mind, I shifted to, I just want to keep learning and learning and learning, because if I'm learning, I'm growing.
Well, then, yeah, exactly, and that makes me curious. Then, how have you had to balance, or how do you think one balances being humble enough to listen and learn, and being confident enough to know you got to do your damn thing?
listen to learn, confident. No, you just gotta listen to learn.
Because being humble and being confident can fight each other sometimes.
Yeah, they can be. I don't know. You got to show up when you need to show up. I guess you just got to show up when you need to show up. But it's just one of those things. Just knowing yourself still, like you have to love yourself. That's where it starts. I think you got to know yourself. And you got to love yourself, so you know how to navigate in both all these arenas because you've been in all of them. But like now it's just navigating all of them whenever you need to. Like if I need to pull from here, I'll pull from here. If I need to pull from here, you need to pull from here. Like say you're in a conversation with somebody and they're just going crazy about something you already know. It's just like, let them talk. This is where they get their excitement, whatever. Like, just let them do that. You know what you're capable of. Just let them talk, humble, give them respect because that might be their highlight. That might be their peak. That might, whatever it might be. Everybody, I don't know. I just feel like everybody's just different and people can talk and then knowing yourself at the end of the day is only going to help you, like, just deliver.
Yeah, it seems that you've got an incredibly good handle on giving yourself grace and the world around you grace. That's incredibly powerful, man. So I want to cycle back to the mentor bit when you said you started to get to help youth, and I know you've had some experience training people and things. What was it like to you when you started to be like, wait a minute, I'm on the other side of this now?
So the first client, so I was always at gyms or something and clients were supplied. But my first one-on-one client, it was during COVID, like all the gyms shut down and
when everybody's world went whoop.
Yeah, this one dude just hit me up about randomly hit me up on Instagram about something, and he it was some type of opportunity, and I wasn't aligned with, it wasn't aligned with me, so I didn't do it. But I told him what I was trying to do. He's like, actually, I know a kid, and basically, he gave me this kid. This kid is just a bionic kid. He tore his shoulder, tore his ACL. He's just hurt. He's so hurt. But anyways, that was my first client, and when I tell you, like, literally, I saw him not too long ago. He's just like, you have just made such the difference in my life. This is now like 8 years later. He's just like, back then, like, you just helped me shift my mind, like, to certain things. And I remember we talked about something, this is something small. I told him, because people kept walking up to us when we were at the parks and stuff. And I told him, I'm just going to let you know, no matter where we go, someone's going to walk up to us. And I'll tell you why. People like energy. They like good energy. They like people that are doing something effective. Like we're moving our bodies, but they like good energy, laughing. They like good spirits. Right now,
they feel that gravity of that.
Exactly. And I was like, you have this as well. Even if you don't see it, you have this as well. But anyways,
that's awesome.
From that moment, like he noticed every single time. Oh, there's one, there's two, there's three. Like, yeah, so like just from that, so even going back a little bit, still like to the kids or whatever, just teaching them, the main things I wanted to teach them was just like a discipline and just to shift your mindset. Like this is a temporary thing. You can go and do anything you want. Like after you get out of here, like you have the whole world at your hands. Like I understand this is your situation right now, but that doesn't mean it's permanent. Like you were dealt this deck of cards. You had this bad hand. What are you going to do with it? Are you just going to sit there and dwell on it, or are you going to make something out of it?
Yeah, that's powerful. You said one of the magic words there, temporary. Lots of people can't see things as temporary when we know, or ultimately everything becomes temporary, including our time here. When was it that you started to realize that, for want of a better way of putting it, time was on your side and things were temporary, you could roll through? Did that come from your upbringing, you think?
I think so. Because it was a long temporary, but like even those 6 years,
right,
that taught me everything. That honestly taught me everything.
And 6 years can feel like forever.
Yeah. It taught me that, like, that's not your situation. Like I said, like, I didn't even think I was going to go to college. I never thought I'd have a car or a job, anything. Like, it changed completely. So I knew that those times were temporary. After I got over a back injury in college, because there was a time, like, I couldn't sit in class more than, like, 5 minutes without
Talk to me a little bit about that. That's a dang
it was
curveball.
depressing.
How did it happen?
Me just being working out a lot. And I don't know what really happened with it. So what did I get? I got like X-rays. I don't know if I did a CAT scan, but there was just like a lot of nerve damage, and there had to be something else, but I feel like I didn't get the test for it. I don't know if it was like a slip disc or like something like that, but it was so bad to the point where I had to quit football. I had to I couldn't do anything. I couldn't sit in class.
And you were full force physical up to that point. Okay.
I couldn't sit in class. I couldn't walk to class. It hurt so bad.
Damn.
24/7. And then I was still trying to work out, and then I had to cut no workouts for like 6 months. And when I tell you that was depressed, that's
I was
where
going to say, what'd that do to your mind?
that gave me lots of alcohol. That gave me just going out. That made my grades. So like I always made that a standard to keep my grades up above a 3.5. Never in life have I been on a 3.5.
Damn.
I dropped to a 1.8.
Oof.
There was no focus, no nothing. I was just so like just sad, depressed, and just doing stupid things to cope. And even through that situation, looking back now, like I will never like navigate like that again. You know what I mean? So like I knew after I was done with that, I start doing different things like with working out. I slowly got back into it, and I started doing different things, and I just noticed how much more powerful I was. And it's like, oh, well, that happened because of this. Like maybe this changed my mindset, because it was like my Jusswaitonit mindset had just like took a hit, and then now we're back full force. Had
you started the Jusswaitonit at that point, or was it still, this was still weaving itself together then?
It was weaving itself together, and then that's where it really came out. So it's like I had it, and I said certain things, but I didn't really have it like as the standard. Like I didn't have exactly what it would have been. And then around that time, I was just like, just wait on, like if you work as hard as you can never get denied, because that was it played a role in the fitness, that new journey right there, because it was like that for football. Like I didn't play football at that whenever I had to quit, and I came back and I was like, okay, work as hard as you can't be denied. And it was exactly that.
So after the back injury, was there any, like, you were done with the arena football, taking calls, any stuff like that? You were fully on into the fitness journey?
So I was in college still with the back injury.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was still in college. So that would have been my like redshirt sophomore year. So I was still in college at that time.
So that had to really be messing with your head.
Yes, big time.
So what was phase one working back into that? You know, did you just take yourself to the gym little by little?
I don't think.
To get your mind back in order? What horse led what carriage?
To be honest, I think I just went full force. I'm just thinking about it right now. I remember this one video. I made this video. I was just being goofy in the weight room one day, and it was like an obstacle course video. And I'm just sitting in there looking around. Oh, I could do that. Oh, I can do that. I can do that. And I just did this video, and then it just like powered me up. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I got to explore my creativity again.
Love that.
And I got more athletic or something. I felt like maybe my body needed the rest. Maybe that's what it was. Like, I don't know what it was. Maybe God needed me to rest so I can heal up to be even better. But yeah, I think I went full force, honestly. But I did take that rest, that break. And I don't know what took me out of the mindset either of, like, because I was sad. I couldn't work out. Like, that's what I attached myself to, working out. That's what I lived by. And it just I didn't feel like myself.
Right. And that's such a cotter pin to everything in your life. Mm-hmm. If you can be physically fit and disciplined, it helps everything be smoother.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get out of college, walk me through getting out of college to where you, quote unquote, hang up the cleats and start to focus on the fitness, because I want to get to the point where the competitive part of you is still alive and brewing, and Ninja Warrior comes to pass.
Okay, so after college, like I said, I worked with trouble youth, playing football or chasing a football dream. Didn't work out. So soon after, very important. So that last football tryout, 3 days prior to that, I asked my boss if I could like switch shifts because I did that all the time, and someone said they can cover me. As long as you had someone, you're good, and I'll take their shift. And I took it to her, and she said, no, she can't approve it. And I didn't understand why. I was like, yo, I have another tryout like this, like, you know, what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And basically, she said, your dream's not as important as your job.
Oof.
So...
God damn, that's a shin kick.
That was some more ammunition. So like this thing about this, when I'm driving back from New York, I don't even know what I'm doing now. So like there was definitely a lostness. So I was doing the rugby thing, and then I just Ubered. And I Ubered for about, we'll say like 6 months while I'm doing the rugby thing as well. And I was like, all right, are you going to Uber forever? Like, what are you doing? And then
what a weird question to have to ask yourself.
Yeah. And I remember I just sat in my room. I remember this. Just sat in my room. It was dark. No one was there. I just sat in there in silence for like an hour or two, and just trying to figure out. I was like, what am I even doing? What are you doing like in life? So I was like, okay, so you love football, you love working out. Like, what can you do? And I was like, be a strength conditioning coach. Like, be a football strength conditioning coach. Like, you get to show working out. It's for football. You get to be around football. You get to be around working out. Let's do that. So,
excellent crossroad.
Yeah. So that's where we, that was the new lane that we shifted to. So, my old strength conditioning coach, he pointed me in the right direction to like send my stuff out. And it's so interesting how I was doing all these crazy workouts and all this stuff, and I was knowledgeable from him that I'm not playing us. It's almost like I was recruited. Like I was just recruited. Like, one minute I'm talking to Ohio State, to Nebraska, to Cal Berkeley. I'm like every day just a new phone call trying to get me to like their school, just to do an internship or even like a paid internship, whatever what might have been. But I didn't know why they all like wanted me. I don't know if it was like because I don't know.
Was that giving you pause? Was it making you like uncertain?
It was a little overwhelming because I'm like, I don't even. Like, I feel like I'm not even ready for this, but let's just jump in, see what happens.
You got that motif going.
Yeah, so it was really an interesting time in my life. So I was like, okay, let's do this. So I went back to my old university and did it there first, and then I went to a private facility first, and then my old university, and then I made a goal. I was like, all right, I'm not going to level up unless I leave West Virginia. So I chose one of the schools. Top three were University of Florida, Ohio State, and East Tennessee State University. I didn't have money from Ubering, so I was like, okay, East Tennessee is the closest at least. So I was like 8 hours away. I went there, slept in my car. No job, no friends, no house, no nothing. But it was that was another challenging. There was a new kind of loneliness, another new type of chapter for me. But
did you get crisis of faith? I don't mean to cut off, but did you get crisis of faith in that moment?
Say it again, please.
Did you get crisis of faith when you're sitting in your car knowing nobody and you're like, man, I left West Virginia, what the fuck am I doing?
It was one of those where, yeah, exactly that. And I can't go back. I said this to myself. I couldn't lie to myself. I was like, okay, you said you're leaving. You're not going back. You better make it happen. Whatever it might be. I don't care how bad it is. It got bad. But, yeah, so we stayed there and did that. And that was another growing chapter, big time growing. So it told me what I could take on, what I could actually like deal with, what I'm capable of. It's like you don't need a lot. You just need to show up. You know?
Yes.
So, yeah, it made me, I don't know if that made me into a minimalist. I like nice things are nice things, but
yeah.
I know I don't need a lot to be.
A lot.
Yeah.
That's powerful. So at that point, this is when you start being able to work with younger athletic youth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when do you start to realize how helping others is helping you, and in what ways?
I feel like it has to be something verbalized, like back to me or something like that. Because I'll always, like I said, I'm just consistent. I'll always be myself. And let's just play with one situation. There was a kid on the team at that time when I was coaching, and 6 years later, he was like, yo, it's crazy. Like, I go in the gym, I won't like lean on something or anything. I just think of you. Like, I like that discipline, like to not lean or like be lazy in the gym. That was just something small.
But it's good routine mental practice to have discipline, yeah?
Yes.
That's the way you saw it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But something like that, or like, people don't always like say what's, I don't want to say what's on their mind, but like people don't always like verbalize how they feel about you. But I had a lot of people verbalizing like how they like felt, like from like just me and being around, like just my mindset about things. Like these, none of the players knew about my situation. They didn't know I was in my car, or either like in the coach's office. I had a little air mattress. They didn't know any of this. They didn't know that I had no money. They didn't know anything. And then now outside of that, and I finally shared my story and stuff, so many people reached out like, how did you keep it together? Like how,
right.
Like I knew you had like this energy, da 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 da. So I guess that's like in personal life, but I don't know. I can just like relate to people, and my coaching ways are, I don't know. I'm really good with people. So like it's like, some people need to be pushed, some people need to be pulled. It's like I can just navigate from energy, like, and figure out what it is. So like that's how I've always been with coaching.
Well, you said a really operative thing there. Some people need to be pushed and some people need to be pulled. And we've talked about that with people in the entrepreneurial world, people who coach people that are part of big boards of companies and things, and they talk about how to motivate their salespeople or their people underneath them. And it seems to be, it's always that crux, when to push, when to pull, and who's who in the zoo. Mm-hmm. Did you figure that out for yourself, and when you needed to be pushed or pulled first to be able to identify that in other people? Or was it more a matter of your open-mindedness and instinct to be able to see people for who they were that lets you be able to figure that out? So I'm basically trying to ask, did you learn that who needs to be pushed and who needs to be pulled by testing it on yourself? Or did you learn this in practice in real time at this point in your life?
I think it was just practice in real time. And then after that one situation where the coach, like, I felt attacked and then I got defensive, I feel like that was just like the wake-up call for me. And then I started navigating everything from then. I think that was like the first thing, and then it was just like figuring out as you go. Because you can just, you can feel someone's energy. Like as soon as you meet, I don't know, with me, I feel like you're the same way. As soon as you meet someone, you can just feel their energy, and then you can figure that out quickly. And especially when it's something like niche, like if it's just training or something like that, you're not going around their whole life, but like just something like that. I feel like that helped with that, just like knowing people. And that's me just being around. Remember, I was trying to be accepted in all these groups. That's just me being around so many different types of people that my intuition, I feel like, it molded into, okay, this is this type of person. Maybe they did this. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But it was more of an educated guess, but more so right than not.
Yeah, and then time and practice proves it out.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest part? Do you think the intuition is the biggest part about being able to meet people where they're at when you're trying to help build them up?
Yes. Yeah. Intuition and open-mindedness, because everybody is not looking through life on the same, like through the same scope as you. Like just understand that someone has lived a different life than you, and just understanding that not everybody's the same. So it's a mix of both of those.
Right. So when you're doing this, you're not doing anything competitive other than facing the competition of meeting this challenge, right? You're not doing any sports outside of this. You're just training people and focusing on, helping the wheel go around, yeah?
Yes.
So at what point does your undying need to be competitive, because I'm guessing that is the case, when does that start creeping back into you? It's like, yo, DC, we gotta get our hat in some ring here.
So even when I am training the people, my goal, a new goal, it was something I had as a goal, but I didn't like make it a forefront goal. It was just be a full-time content creator, but through this fitness stuff. So I kept up with all the crazy workouts, kept up with that, never stopped that. But there was a period of like 8 months where rugby was done. I left West Virginia, went to Tennessee, then now I'm in Arizona. And through those 8 months, it was very, very, very challenging because Arizona was another chapter of just, oh my goodness, we're back to square one.
What pulled you there?
So I had 2 friends out there. One that said that they would help me like get a job because he was at this company, and then another one said that we could live together. And as soon as I got out there, neither one of those were true. And,
oh man, come on!
It just started over another chapter. Of
they weren't true immediately.
Yeah, so I got out there 2,300 miles, and I'm just like, because I don't have much money either. I'm just like, oh my gosh, here we go again. But anyways,
come on.
I was like, I'm not gonna go home. Let's figure it out. So I stayed at a frat house for like 3 months. I knew a guy, and I didn't even think he was out there anymore. And then he was actually there, and he was like, yo, bro, you can just like take that room down the hall. And I was like, okay. So I'm like 24, 25, staying in a frat house in the middle of nowhere. Don't know anybody but him. Like it just, yeah, that was a challenge. But I knew I wasn't going back to West Virginia. That was the goal. Like I said, as soon as I leave, I will never go back. So that's how I ended up out there. It was either there or Florida or right now. But yeah, so I got out there, and it was definitely another challenging but like great chapter of life.
So you hit the ground there in a dorm room or in a frat house room. And what do you think? Was it just pound the pavement? I'll find some place to train here. How do you get yourself off the ground when you get curveballs of the place I thought I could live and the job I thought I could have don't exist?
So just reaching out a lot on Instagram and stuff. So at this time I didn't have my certification or anything. So gyms typically won't take you if you don't have a cert or whatever. But I'm like, I have all this experience. Like I've been through like 4 or 5 different programs as an intern or a coach. So I'm like, maybe that will help me. And it did get me into this one spot. So I got into this facility, and this is the first time I actually trained like pro athletes. So it was really cool. It was a great experience and everything. But like even at this time, I still needed another job because that was like very difficult because I'm starting as like the intern. Yeah. So
did you feel over your head at that point?
Yes, I just was so lost. I was so lost. So at that time, I'm doing that, and then this one dude I didn't even know I knew from a past life, but he lived out here, and he hooked me up with my first like job out there. So at this time, I'm trying to like put together my online training. I'm going to coffee shops every day, just trying to get this together, get it together, and doing that. And I think I had 2 clients outside. No, not yet. I didn't even have these clients yet. And I take a trash job, waste management. I'm like the trash man. I'm literally carrying like a Santa sack of trash. And I can't believe I did that. But I mean, it is what it is. But that's just another, all right, let's play with that right there. Let's play with it. All right, so the temporary thing.
Right.
In the middle of that, because at first it was just like, oh, this is where you're at in life. Like this is what you're doing right now. Nothing to someone that does that, but it's like, you know where you're going to be, but like you're here right now, like what's going on. So through that, it helped me stay humble. Let's say that it helped me stay humble. So like as I'm doing this trash job, every single time I did it, I put a podcast on so I can like learn something. I was like, okay, you're doing something you hate, but this is temporary. You know where you're going to be one day. So just do this right now and pay the bills, like pay your bills, because I will not ask anybody for money. So do it right now, pay your bills, and this isn't forever. So I always listen to a podcast, and I wanted to listen to something. So getting to your question now, so we're probably like 8 to 10 months after rugby. So one night, I definitely was feeling it because remember, I'm still doing my crazy workouts. So like I'm doing some madman things because I'm like, I got to throw out as much content as I can. Let's get sponsored by someone. Like I need out, like something needs to happen. Like I have all these skills and abilities. I'm putting it out here. My body hurts and someone's going to see this. They have to see this.
Right.
So there's one night I got in. So I'm actually Ubering as well during this time. I got in at like 2 a.m. and I threw on The Voice. I love The Voice. And in between, Ad for Ninja popped up. And I was like, dang, people always say I can do this. I don't want to do that. That's trash. I don't want to do that. And I was like, whatever, let's apply. So I applied.
And you're in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the next day I'm doing the trash job. I had a really hard training, and my body's just hurt. And I remember just walking up the stairs. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm just walking upstairs, real hurt. And I'm carrying all this stuff, and I barely even want to walk up. I listen to podcasts with Oprah and Tyler Perry.
Damn.
He's just talking about every year he got denied, like, for his dreams. Like, he moved down to, I think it was Atlanta, and he tried to do the comedy or the Medea, the plays and all that.
Yep.
And he just kept getting denied from 1992 to 1998. And then he talked about in 1998, he felt like he had nothing left. He said a prayer to God, like, if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, just please give me a sign. So how he described it was they were at a theater in Chicago in like February, and there was no heat. So it's like really cold. And he said this prayer, and then like 5 or 10 minutes later, he heard like people outside, like a line of people or something like that. And he's like, I knew I arrived, because they only sold like a minimal amount of tickets. And he knew that it actually turned out to be a great show for him. But that's where that just excelled him. Long story short, I was like, Lord, I know you made me listen to this right now.
That's right.
I'm hurting. If this if this fitness thing is like just supposed to be my base or my platform to everything I'm doing, can you just give me a sign? Like, I don't want to keep just doing this if nothing's going to happen from it. Like, if this is it, please let me know. And then after that shift, I got a phone call. I think I got on my shift, and then after the shift, I heard it. Like, it would have been after that prayer, though. So I'm talking, I got this message at like 10 o'clock at night, like, hey, DC, this is so-and-so, would you like to be on Ninja Warrior? And I told one of my buddies, I just couldn't even like believe that happened. Yeah. So
was that one of those things where you're feeling like, am I getting punked?
Yeah, it just didn't make sense, because like, this is a whole TV show. I can't believe there's thousands on thousands of people applying, and then one day. Yeah, so that was great.
Well, this begs the question that I didn't know that I was going to get the opportunity to ask you, but anytime that this window opens, I shoot out it and ask it. Do you believe in coincidence?
I believe in God. I believe in God. Do I believe in coincidence? I guess I could say yeah, because everything's already like just laid out,
But you don't feel like a determinist, right? Like everything is beset already, and you're just here to go through the motions, and it's all...
Not at all. So I guess we could say that I believe in coincidence. Yeah.
I'm always curious how people feel when they have things like that, where it's like things seem too synchronous, too serendipitous. Do you feel like that's coincidence, or do you feel like that's the beacons that, these are the roadmaps that you're on, or these are the signals that you're on the right path?
These are the signals that I'm on the right path. Yeah, I don't, it's so interesting now when something crazy, amazing happens, it's like, before it's like, is this, and now I'm just like, all right, good job for navigating yourself to this point, like getting to this point. I can give you a quick insider on something real quick.
Yeah.
So, last year I made it a goal to be a Savannah Banana.
What's that?
The baseball team, the Savannah Bananas.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah.
And I reached out to them and got the recruitment form. I never did anything with it, and I don't know why, but like I just kept seeing it. I was like, yo, I need to be out there. And then this year I saw the Raymond James game, and I was like, yo, dude, like I need to be out there. So I submitted like the recruitment thingy, and then I was able to get it to a couple people in the organization, and then even to like the other owner, like the wife, and nothing came of it at all. And then 3 months passed by, and I was like, yo, like what's up? Because I made this really cool video, and I was like, there's no way they can like deny this. And then I finally posted on social media, because I didn't want to, because it was just another point of me being vulnerable. I still struggle with that a little bit, but I'm like, all right, you already put your story out there this year. Whatever, people already know. So threw it out there, and it is incredible, the feedback. Like so there's like 2,500 comments, and it's not just emojis. Every single one is like 1 to 6 sentences. Every single comment, like literally, oh my gosh, you need to be out there, da 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 da. But the things, there's different types. Like your energy needs to be out there. Also, like you grew up a foster child, like you would just be great for this, da da da. But
that's inspiration on tap for people.
Yeah, so that is like the new thing right this second. And then Jesse actually reached out on that. He's the owner, and he just said send him like certain things, and I sent them. So we'll see. That might be the next thing actually. So I don't know. That's just
Well, the moral of the story is keeping putting yourself out there.
yes, because you never know what will happen. Even if this doesn't work out, I'm not mad because I know I did something that no one else has done. So like that's one thing I love that I will do. I will go to the end of the earth to make something happen. If it doesn't work, it's cool. Like one more real quick. Gymshark, I've been pushing stuff for them for years. Like I just wanted to be a sponsor athlete for them, and I finally got the chance to work with them in 2021. I kept messaging, nothing happened, and then I was like, what can we do different? I wrote them a letter, and it actually got to them, and they replied a year later, and then basically I was able to work with them, and I made some content for their page and stuff. But now in my mind, I was like, I want to be a sponsored athlete. I always want to be a sponsored athlete by them. So the next year, or maybe the next year after that, I'm still posting content surrounding them. I was like, okay, I'm going to post for 30 days, and I put this on TikTok. I was like, I'm going to post for 30 days straight, something Gymshark related. I'll wear the clothing, talk about them, da-da-da.
Is that what it is primarily?
What?
Apparel?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm going to do this for 30 days, and I have to get their attention. Like, I want to be a sponsor athlete. I already worked with them. Like, they have to say something.
You're on the radar.
Don't reply, I'm going to show up at their headquarters. in Solihull, England.
Hell yeah.
Day 33, I'm at their doorstep.
Are you serious?
I swear, I made it. I was like, no matter what, I'm going to go. There's no way anybody's ever did this before. So I went that far, and they still didn't reply. But it's all good. But I know what I'm capable of.
I was gonna say, and that type of thing is more for the satisfaction of being the DC you know you are than proving it to them. Yeah,
exactly.
Gotcha. I love that, man. That's one of my new favorite anecdotals. I'll show up at the door no matter how far I gotta go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's Quentin Tarantino this one and timeline and flop up a little bit. So after you get the first Ninja Warrior call, what's next step from there?
Ninja starts in like 2 months, and I did my first ninja training. I ran up the 18-foot warp wall, came down on my ankle.
Oh,
we'll just do that. We'll start with that. So at that point, I had that one ninja training session before that, and then I had one more, and then I went on the show.
And when you mean ninja training, you're talking about a facility that is an obstacle course. You're training specifically for that.
Specifically Ninja Warrior, yeah.
Okay. And did they open up that door for you?
So they helped me. Like, so as soon as I got in there, like, it was really interesting because I see these little people flying. I'm like, oh, I'm about to tear this up. It was such a humbling experience. Oh my gosh, I ripped my hands. Like if you ever get in a ninja gym, you'll understand. Like I've ripped my hands. I'm like, wow, this hurts. Like ripping the calluses off. And I'm trying to throw myself. I'm like, how did they do this so effortlessly? I thought I could do this on a playground when I was younger. But it was definitely another humbling experience for me. And I'm just like, okay, you're gonna have to work for this. Like you thought it was gonna be easy. Nah, so yeah.
Thinking it was going to be easy is always the first mistake, yeah?
Yes.
So then what was competition round one like? I mean, you bust up your ankle. What are you thinking this ain't even going to happen? Or?
So I'm hard-headed. So I still did things, and I'll land on like maybe 1 foot or something like that. But like I said, I only had 2 sessions. I don't know what happened. Oh, I think it was COVID time. I think it was during COVID, because it was during the COVID season. And everything closed down. So I think that's why I only had the 2 sessions. I think that was it. And then I went on the show, and nervousness. Like that's the last time I can remember anxiety and nervousness.
Yeah.
Because I was not prepared. And I'm usually prepared for things. So I walk up on that stage, and my stomach went, I don't even know where it went. It's just like everything just went blank. Like there's a camera right there, a camera right there, a camera right there, a camera right there, spotlight. I'm like, what is this? Where am I at?
Because the training sessions don't simulate any of that.
Nope. People don't understand that. When we get to Ninja, we don't know what we're going to do. We have no clue at all. So like we get there, we don't get to test it. We don't get to do anything. They just go through the rules. They tell us, they show us different examples up there, and then you just got to mentally play what you're going to do, and then you go back to the tent, and you got to wait until like whatever group you're in to go. So, yeah, I didn't even know how to play it in my head yet or anything. Like, so it was just nerve-wracking, very nerve-wracking. But I got to the second obstacle. It was something right now I can do with my eyes closed, but I got to the second obstacle and I fell.
What was that?
What is that called?
Do you remember it?
Lunatic ledge. Yeah. So it's like this. What was the first part of it? Did I even make it to the other part? I don't remember. It's like this ledge that moves back and forth, but you have to get momentum and then you have to throw yourself to another one.
I gotcha.
And then keep that momentum to get off. Yeah.
And then you shot yourself straight up in the air instead of forward?
Yeah, well, I second guessed myself. I went to jump and I held on and then whoop, it just yanked me back. It just second guessed in the middle of the moment.
Well, I guess, that's one of the things, I guess a Ninja Warrior probably provided you a different experience of having to learn how to react so much in the moment to something totally different.
Very quick, yes.
Okay, so how does because you've been on American Ninja Warrior how many times? Four times?
4 times, yeah.
Okay, so round 1 was straight out learning experience, yeah? Mm-hmm. And are you thinking to yourself, all right, that was like other things. All right, that was cool. I did it. I gave my best. Now I'm going to roll on to the next thing. Or were you like, I'm going to do this better. I got more than this.
You already know my mindset.
Yeah, that's what I was
like,
thinking.
No, we can't get in the water that quick. That was terrible.
See, I thought. Yeah.
So second year, get on that stage, nerves come in and then they leave. We've been here before. What? You've been here before. Let's ball out. So anyways, we get to, which one would this have been? I needed to work my grip strength a little bit more, and this one's on me. My grip just gave out for the next one, but I made it to the 5th obstacle now. But I got there quick enough to make semifinals.
Right.
Yeah, so that was the second one, and I got to semifinals. It was the thing I fell on was a ring chaser. So like you touch this thing and the ring goes. You got to hit monkey bar, catch the ring, and throw yourself to this thing. So I didn't catch the ring. So there's 2 different rings. You can get the big one or a small one. If you catch the big one, boom, you can use it. If not, there's a small one up there and you have to try to precision it onto something else. And I had to use the smaller one and I didn't make it. But the ring thing, I could have caught it, but I didn't do the technique that I knew. So it's like I just stumped myself in my brain again. I'm like, why would you do it that way when you've been practicing? Like, it's not something we know, but like even monkey bars, I know how to do it. Yeah.
Right.
So,
and you don't have the time to think. Yeah, you just straight
gotta
reacting.
make it happen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the second season. Third season,
So were you feeling? And I don't mean to cut you off, but were you feeling like getting to the semifinals? You were like, okay, I licked a little bit of last year,
yes.
but still, okay.
Yep. And then now the standard is you better make semifinals. So that next season, oh man, it was a silly fall, very silly fall. So I went in, but like I said, I move pretty fast, so I always make semifinals. Well, I've been making semifinals because I move fast, but even if I don't get to the warp wall. So anyways, that next season did that, and then that's the next moment for semifinals was when we did a racing one, and that's where I was standing back there talking about like the DC Hollywood in my head.
Yeah.
And we're racing side by side against someone now, so it's like a seating bracket. And
did that ignite the old competitive in you, having another person there?
So the thing is, this dude is a flash. Just I don't even know how to describe it. It was one of those moments where I couldn't even argue with the fact that I knew I wasn't going to win unless he messed up. I knew it. And I'm not like that. I'm like, I'm going to win. No one will stop me. But I know who this dude is. And I'm like, all right, I don't hope he falls, but I hope he falls because that's the only way I'm going to win. Anyways, I actually had a shoulder injury even from the day before, and it was lingering so bad. So went through that. I couldn't go too fast. I had to be real conservative for like how it was, and I fell on something just simple again. My shoulder just couldn't hold up for it. But yeah, so with that being said, I fell on the second obstacle in semifinals the year before. Now I made it to the 4th, and I'm like, okay, we're progressing.
Are you having to reapply each year, or since you've
every
been
single year? Yeah, you got to keep reapplying.
Damn.
Yeah.
Does that feel like Or is it just like, whatever, I'm coming back.
For me, I just like getting creative each time. I'm like, all right, how can I make, because the main thing is like your video. They know your story, like if you've been on there. So it's like the video. Like I'm like, how can I get more creative of like storytelling or showing or doing something? Like how's your life changed? Like there's a lot of different components that go into it, but I just like getting creative with my storytelling each time. So it's like I get to learn this skill. I get to practice this skill for my own like content creation and stuff. But yeah, so I like doing that each time.
Would you say that the storytelling is the backbone of it?
Yes. Remember, it's still reality TV at the end of the day. They need to have people that are real people that like have been through things and things like that.
Right. I'm curious if you feel like the storytelling is the backbone of all your motivation to keep doing, because it adds to the story you get to tell.
Ooh. So what's the question with that?
Do you see, because I always used to say when I was younger, when I die, I just want to have a good story to tell.
Yes.
I want to make sure I had a good story to tell. Do you look at the things and those challenges and stuff like that as making sure that you've got a good story to tell?
Yes. Did you see the back of my shirt?
No, just the front.
Let me see it real quick.
It's your story. All right, perfect. So I got lots of parallels going here.
Yes.
So round 4, now you've learned a lot. You definitely got the story. You are improving your storytelling both as it relates to the Ninja Warrior progression and as it relates to your content progression. What are you thinking? How long ago was this?
So we recorded back in like October.
Okay.
And then
October 24?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it just came out like 3 weeks ago. So qualifiers, I'm confident. I'm just up there. I'm ready to just now. I'm in a place where I'm ready to like have fun, entertain. Now
There you
I've been
go.
here, yeah. So that's what we did. We entertained. And we were really fun. Unfortunately, a mental error. It almost was like the first season mental error, but then again, I didn't even know what I was doing in that one.
Right.
Now this one, I'm like, this was just a silly one. I needed to push the thingy up maybe 1 more inch, less than an inch. That's all, just an inch. And I didn't do that, so I didn't have enough momentum to make it to the thingy. And I would have got to the warp wall and completed the course. So I was an inch away from completing.
Damn.
And then semifinals will be out in sometime in July.
Nice.
But I'm in there too.
So will you go back for round 5?
They already put the application out, so I'm definitely going to put it. Why not? The worst someone could say is no, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, for some people that is a worst. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm always curious. I guess, have you had times of where you felt like dealing with rejection, or most of the turns you've taken in life, you've taken them on your own accord?
I feel like when I was younger, the rejection definitely got me, and then I don't know what point where I would have changed, but like I just don't care anymore. Like it just is what it is.
I love that.
Yeah, like it just is what it is. It was either for me or it's not. That's the
Talk
only
to
way
me
look
about
at
the
it.
feelings of freedom that come along with that.
Oh man, there's a book I love, and it sort of explains that. It's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F.
Yes.
But it's sort of that. It's just there's things to care about, there's things not to care about that people overly care about. But you have to care about some things, you have to not care about some things. But the freedom is, there's no limits. There's no limits to anything, because like whenever you do care too much, like there's limits. Like something so small, someone will not get behind a camera or something because they feel that they will say or do or whatever it is to embarrass themselves, and no one cares. Someone won't. You understand what I'm saying? Like people.
You can't be afraid to be you.
Yeah, just do it. Whatever. People have their own lives. They don't care 5 minutes from now. They do not care like what's going on. They have their own life and their own problems. So it's just one of those. It just is what it is. If something doesn't work out, okay, try something else.
You're such
still
an
alive.
empowering realization. That is such an empowering realization. Have you, in your times of training people, helped try to convey that?
So in my training, it wasn't so. How I've been telling you, It's like it's almost like we're doing more mental than physical in my training. Yeah, so I feel like I've always just did certain things to really tap into your mental, and then in return it goes into like your physical and how you like perform and everything. But if it's a consistency, all right, let's do this rep right, so we want to do it twice. Do it right or do it twice. Like certain things like that, but it builds all these little tiny consistencies that now you can pour all those into other cups of your life, because it's like, oh, I can't just do this in training. Let me do this like outside of here maybe. But I was just big on the mental aspect of things. So and then I feel like in return that helped with like the physical, and people just wouldn't cheat themselves.
Do you feel like the mental horse leads the physical carriage, or at times they swap?
They could swap. I feel like they're interchangeable, honestly. Yeah, they're interchangeable. Yeah.
Because I oftentimes wonder when people get they get too much stock in one ethos and that doesn't work, then they don't got anywhere else to try to get back on track. And it seems like you've got a good physical track, obviously, and it seems like you've been able to identify an incredibly healthy mental track along the way, and you've been able to use one to help the other whenever they needed it.
Yes, big time. Even like playing with that, I for the longest and still now, but I'm so much better with it, like having a day off. If I felt like I had a day off, I felt like I was weak. I felt like I was nothing. That was like my biggest within myself thing. I'm like, you're weak, like But you have to have time for yourself. You can't just keep pushing your body to the limit. Or what if something happens? Like,
did the back injury help you learn that? Did the shoulder help you learn that? What solidified that to you?
So dang, that was down the road. So I don't know.
Because that's a tough pill to swallow for competitive people.
Yeah, getting more knowledge, because I'm saying like this is more recently, but like just getting more knowledge. Like no matter what, your body is changing, so like you can't just deliver the same way you were doing, because now if you think you can do what you could do at 20 years old, you're just setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those type of deals. Like you're changing, take that break. You're cool. You know what you're capable of. Like, it's just knowing yourself as well. Like, you know what you can bring to the table. You know what you're capable of. Take a break, take a step back, come back the next day, even stronger.
Yeah, it seems like being real with yourself is a sword that you've been able to sharpen along the way. Mm-hmm. That's very cool. So I want to talk a little bit about your company now, Jusswaitonit. Where in the timeline does that become launched? Are you second Ninja Warrior, third Ninja Warrior? Where does Jusswaitonit become now a flag you're waving?
So Jusswaitonit was like just about like the fitness stuff and everything, but it was a video creation, and like it was always like I made these videos, but I left a message with it.
What do you mean?
So I always like left something. Like I'm always intentional with my content. I'm very intentional, but every time I was doing that, it wasn't for me. It was it was to get people's attention so they read my caption. So I was doing this stuff for me personally. It was just, all right, let me challenge myself this time. Let me see if I can push my limits.
Like in a physical way.
Yeah, physically. Okay. And then for me, for people, it was like, all right, if you do this craziness, they're going to look at your caption. And it was always a message. I always wanted to like give some type of message of like whatever it might have been in my life that might have been going on that could relate to someone else. Like just keep going, basically. Some type of message around that. But with the Jusswaitonit, it just started as like videos, and it's always been about like my videos, my social, my presence, my personal brand. And I think it's just always been a thing. So since 2013, it's been a thing. And then where we started to, we'll say, monetize it was in 2019. And this is during the time where I was like doing the lift, the trash job, ninja. So like we could say around the first ninja is where I like maybe got my first like brand deal or something like that. And it was before ninja, but around that time I just had the confidence. I think that phone call gave me that confidence. Remember I told you I said that prayer, and I think that might have gave me the confidence. All right, let's push a little bit more now. And yeah, so since then, and then it's just been great since.
I love that. Do you always begin with an end in mind?
I feel like I just let it go. Like if I have a goal, like I'll go into it, and I don't think there's an end. Well, could you ask me that differently?
Yeah, like when you start off doing something like Ninja Warrior, like your goal setting, do you always start with an end in mind, like I'm going to do this and I have to meet X thing to feel like I put my energy to good use? Or is it just as long as I start and, like we've been saying, I do my best, then that inherently means I've put my energy to good use?
As long as I start. Because, like, I mean, I will, like, for Ninja, like, you have to train and everything. So, like, if you're training well enough, like, that you think that you are, just start and the results will speak for themselves, I guess. So, yeah, I don't really have something in mind, but it's just ironic that maybe subconsciously each year I've gotten better. Every single year I've gotten better. So, I don't think I ever have an end goal, but subconsciously I might, but I don't think I do.
So then, do you take great solace in as long as I'm better than I was yesterday, the 1% thing?
1% better. This is my buddy's clothing brand, actually. His whole motto is 1% better. Like, it's just every single day, just do something that your future self will thank you for. Just do. It could be so small. It could be so small. People don't understand that. They're like, you had to do something so big. You didn't make your bed yesterday, make your bed today. Like, just something so small. Yeah, take a walk today. You didn't take a walk yesterday. Like, just something to make your life a little bit better.
I love that. I'm huge on that, self-disclosure. As long as you're better than you yesterday, that's your only comparison. So I want to ask you one kind of loaded question, and then we'll get you out of here on something fun. I know that Jusswaitonit is embodying and somewhat reflecting, and correct me if I'm wrong or stop me if this term is toxic land, but it's staying on your grind, making sure you're grinding. There's a lot of people out there, or a fair amount of people out there, that now it's the grind becomes toxic in a way. It's like this toxic hustle culture where you become consumed, you become obsessed, you're making these comparisons between you and everybody in the world. How do you mitigate the grind from grinding you down? How do you mitigate grinding and not feeling ground down?
Man, I feel it's sort of with just the same mindset, because I'm sort of there right now. So, like, just with my, like, content and everything, I'm very consistent for years on end on social media, and I always just thought, like, the more you post, like, the more exposure you're going to get. Like, you just got to keep going. You got to keep going.
Like, more is always the answer.
Yeah. And I've gotten to the point where my authenticity's taken over. I'm like, you can't just be putting silly stuff out there. Only put stuff out there if it's, like, meaningful. The right people will see it, and you don't need to just keep, like, just throwing things out there. So that was, like, a thing. That was a thing for the longest time, and, like, now I'm comfortable, like, I'm cool, and I don't think about it. I'm like, all right, yeah, make a video every day, whatever. Like, you're good. Obviously, you know what can happen if you throw more videos out there, but, like, are you okay? Like, are you okay without, like, doing this at the same pace that you were doing before? And I am okay with that now. So, because there was a time, let me play with one real quick.
Yeah.
I had an end goal. This one was for YouTube. So, back in 2021, I had like 1,600 followers or subscribers, and it's like January 1st. It was like December, like something, and I was like, January 1st, I'm posting on YouTube every single day until I get 100,000. I want that plaque. I want to hang that plaque on the wall somewhere.
Yeah.
I want every single day, and then I think like November, every single day, like 3 to 4 times a day.
And you're posting shorts and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got it, like, I think it was like end of October.
Nice.
Anyways, I got it, but I'm talking every single day. And that might have been it. That might have been it for me. Because I was like, I was so like fried from YouTube. I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to touch like social media or anything.
I got no idea what you're talking about.
And yeah, so like I feel like that was it, because it's like I gave my all for that, and that was the reward. Was it worth it? No. Like I was anxiety because I'm like, oh, I didn't get to do this yet. I didn't get to do this yet. I might stop what I'm doing to think about YouTube. Like I might not be engaged in a conversation because I'm thinking about YouTube, and it almost goes back to that grinding thing, just being like that. So I think that was actually a lesson. It was a great one. But yeah, I'm at peace now. Like I'm cool.
Amen,
like,
man.
Everything's gonna work out exactly how it needs to be.
That is a beautiful place to be at. I appreciate you sharing that. Well, here's your fun one. This was a question I thought I had retired, and there's a couple ways I could ask this one, but I'm just going to straight bring this one out of retirement. If I gave you 10,000 billboards right now to put across the United States, and you can put anything on them, what are you putting on your billboard?
I'm going to have my face, and I'm going to be smiling. And then quotations, I believe in you. Hashtag just wait on it.
Oh, I love that. I love that, man. Well, DC, I can't thank you enough for coming down and sharing with us, man. I'm very grateful to hear from you, and you're sharing your story with everybody, man. I can't thank you enough for taking the time, and I hope we get to do it again sometime, brother.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. Awesome questions.
Thank you, brother.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, man.